Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Planica in Slovenia for continuing coverage here on Eurosport of the cross-country World Cup. Today it's all about sprinting for both men and women in a brand new venue for sprinting here in Planica within the Triglav National Park. Well, Planica, it's tucked up in the northwest corner of Slovenia, close to Austria, close to Italy, at just under 1,000 meters. And I guess everybody really knows this venue predominantly for its monster ski flying hill, which over the years has seen distances extended from 200 to 240 meters plus. But now it has a new facility, a facility that was originally designed for its bid to host the Nordic Ski World Championships. It didn't win that, but we're still the beneficiaries of a brand new site, and more than 2,000 out to see the qualification on a really chilly morning. So, all set to go on a chilly morning in Planica. Posey Musgrave alongside myself, David Goldstrom. Posey, who's just recently retired from the British cross-country team. And this, the sixth Wiesmann cross-country sprint of the season at a brand new venue in Planica, nestling against those famous ski jumping and ski flying hills. And away we go. And right in the center of the echelon, you'll see Stina Nielsen wearing the under-23 bib there. And she, the world silver medalist in Falun. And Posey, after a little bit of flat, they really turn the speed on here. Well, this six athletes here all in a group there, and Hannah Falk holding them off at the moment. 25 there. That's Nusiana Monasinisa in just about third place there, and moving up into second, the world silver medalist from Falun from the World Championships last year, the talented 22-year-old Swede Stina Nielsen, taking second place. And now they're in Indian file, and the finish is interesting here because it's a long straight. So Hannah Falk on the left there, never better than fifth in any of the sprints this season. Stina Nielsen, powerful young woman there. And just behind it's Sophie Caldwell, who broke her duck and actually won her first ever World Cup race. And Stina Nielsen going ahead here to qualify by right there from Hannah Falk. Two strong Swedish efforts there. And 1 and 2 for Sweden. Sophie Caldwell in third place, 2:35.32. We'll just have to wait and see whether that is going to be good enough. Ingrid Østberg, second fastest, 2:36.22. And this is an opportunity for her to try and get some World Cup points to close on the World Cup leader, Teresa Johaug, who's resting her legs. So out she comes. She wears bib number 3 just at the back of this, but they're settling down, finding their rhythm, and a tricky downhill here. So up front, Østberg making the best of her way home. Apologies if you're having some problems here hearing Posey next to me. We still seem to have some technical problems, and it is Lorien van der Graaf in second place there for Switzerland, but being pursued by Sundling for Sweden. But now the Swiss racer into second place on her own and cruising across the line, 2:33 exactly, and that is a faster quarter-final. Straight on to quarter-final number 3, and Hannah Kolb at the top there, the fastest of these 6, 2:35.89. Oh, and 2 of them out. Now, that is sadly Lynn Sumsker. Yeah, and oh, another one. Icy corner. That is Ida. That is Ida, and 24 now into second place, Heidi Weng. Well, that's calamity corner. And now it's just a question of these two, but that will have sent a warning right across the field, won't it? Because this is 1,200 meters, same course for men and women. And of course, Heidi Weng in great form and great heart, having won her first ever World Cup during the Tour de Ski in classic style. But at the moment, the Slovenians, they're just boosting her home here as we come towards the end, and they're just cruising in, really, the front two. So Vesna Fabian looking pretty determined to make this her own, and Heidi Weng, very respectable, 6th in the sprint rankings, having a pretty good World Cup season, 3rd overall. But the Olympic bronze medalist from Sochi giving her a clean pair of legs here, coming away, running away to the finish. So we get to the 4th quarter-final here, and Astrid Jakobsen, the fastest of the qualifiers in Norwegian red, wearing bib number 1. There she is. Had to quit the tour early on in Lenzerheide in Switzerland after the sprint, had cramp, and that was a big problem for her.
And here she is out at the start. They're all looking pretty even at the moment.
And so just sorting themselves out into this drop down, and you can see you need to be very well placed here as you come round this left-hander and into the turn there. Tatjana Stifler for Switzerland up front there. Quite a lot of new talent into the Sprint World Cup. And just behind 14, that's Denise Herrmann in that rather unattractive new German race suit. And Astrid Jakobsen at the moment on the left of your picture, having to go the really long way round.
I think she actually might have got herself a bit boxed in there, because she was really looking like she was working hard up that hill to get back to the front. She's made her way up to 3rd, but she's still got a bit to do before she can get herself into one of those top 2 positions to get into the semi-final. She's trying to make her way up now, but she's still a little bit boxed in between Herrmann and Greta Laurent, so hopefully she can get back into the top 2 as they crest over this hill and come into the finish.
Yeah, that was an unforced error there from Greta Laurent, which put her back into 4th place. So Jakobsen on the far side, Denise Herrmann, and being pursued by the 2nd German, Lucia Anger, just in the pink hat, just in 3rd place. But Jakobsen strong enough to come through, and she's going to qualify together with Denise Herrmann. And the time 2:38, again, pretty slow. Under starters' orders. First 100 meters are absolutely straight in a line.
Yeah, straight out of the start there, just really battle for position as you come into this first downhill. Looks like Ida Sargent and Anne Winkler are pushing the pace right at the beginning, and you've got Sandra Ringvald coming through as well. I was really surprised to see Nadine Fendrick qualify in 2nd place. This is her first season on the World Cup, and she doesn't have a lot of starts under her belt yet. So that's a really exciting to see a new name come through, and hopefully she can have some good results this season to follow on from that.
Up front there, Sandra Ringvald in the centre of your screen. Immediately to her right there, that's Maja Dahlqvist of Sweden in the white race suit. Dahlqvist wearing bib number 15, 21 going through. Ida Sargent of the United States of America. Ida, who's scored points in all the sprints this season, but the best of the lot was the first one, and that was in classic style in Ruka up in Finland. So 2 away here, and now the young Swiss has really burst away.
Yeah, Nadine's really going for it here. She's got herself a big lead, but there's still about 45 seconds or so to get to the finish line. So the question is, can she maintain that lead through this last uphill and into the finishing straight? Because I think the others are coming back on her, so I don't know if she's made her move a little bit early. I really think she's going to get swallowed up here. I think she's gone much too early, and she's not going to have the finish to keep that going right to the finish line. You've got Harsham coming up, really great finisher. You've got Sandra Ringvold coming through as well, so it's going to be tough for her to hold on. She's really pushing to get to the finish line there.
Yeah, you know, Posey, she might just make it. There's Sandra Ringvold on the left there, and you're right, Harsham's just come through, and you can see there 2:35. That is actually slower than the second quarter final, and so second fastest in qualification. But I think this is part of her education in the first season. Yeah, I would agree with you absolutely. She went a bit too early, and she's now going to be a bit disappointed. Next, we go to the women's semi-finals. So what are Ersberg's tactics? We've seen so often she really likes to lead, but we've also seen situations where Ersberg has run out of gas when it's come to the final.
Yeah, she's been pipped to the post quite a few times by Faller and by Nilsson, so I don't know if she does need to just maybe ease off a little bit and focus on just saving some energy for the last round, because I think she should be able to get through here. She's got 3 Swedes in the semi-final though, so interesting to see if they have any sort of tactics in mind or if it's each man for themselves.
Well, I think this is really encouraging for the Slovenians. Of course, it was Petra Majdic who really put Slovenia on the map in women's sprinting. Tall, elegant, and Vesna Fabian, the Olympic bronze medalist, picking up where she left off there, but being shadowed by Stina Nielsen, and then Lorien van der Graaf in the black race suit there, and coming up on her outside, Hanna Falk. Also in here, Johanna Sundling of Sweden. Sweden with 50% of this semi-final in terms of runners, and the Slovenian trying to hold them all off there. And you can see Ersberg right in the centre there in the red race suit for Norway, just beginning to make her presence felt. Yeah, Stina Nielsen just losing a little bit of rhythm.
Yeah, Ersberg to me looked like she was a little bit trapped in there, but she's been able to make her way out to the outside now, so she can hopefully come up to the front now. So she's really making a move. She wants to be in the front. She doesn't like being tucked in back there. She's pushing up, so her and Nielsen are leading the way now. They're going to try and hold on the front until the end of the race here.
This is a more mature Ersberg, isn't it? Because in the early days, even earlier in the season, we started to see her, you know, leading up front. But last season, particularly, she liked to lead, but just didn't have the energy to sustain. And Stina Nielsen, you can see how tall, she's the tallest, she's the most powerfully built of all these sprinters.
Yeah, she's really tall. She's really pushing with the poles there to go over the top. She doesn't want to let this one get away from her, I don't think. She's gone for the leading from the front tactic, and she's going to try and hold on there. She's definitely got a bit of a gap, which I'm surprised to see.
So the world silver medalist here, strong legs, and just has a look around. Vesna Fabian trying to close on the far side on Ersberg, but not early enough there, not able to get to her, and it was Stina Nielsen's move that really decided that semi-final. So Nielsen and Ersberg through by right. Fabian and Falk must wait and see whether their times 2:33.8, 2:33.9. So we've got a Norwegian and Swede definitely through, a Slovenian and another Swede hoping, but now to this second semi-final. And I've got a feeling, Posey, you're absolutely right. That looked a bit quick, and I wonder whether the likes of Jakobsen and Herman and Weng can be quite that sharp. I mean, there's a lot of Norwegian interest here. 3 Norwegians in the competition in this second semi-final. 2 Germans and an Italian as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I don't know if we might see some more tactics, because we don't have Osberg and Nielsen who want to just push the pace from the beginning. But then you've got skiers like Heidi Weng, who's got that good distance pedigree as well. So she might want to just use her engine to really motor from the front today. We'll just have to see how she decides to take it.
Just saw Denise Herman there. Gaia Burik, who's come through as one of the lucky losers into this semi. 24, that's Heidi Weng, who Posey was just talking about. Tremendous effort in the Tour de Ski to finish in 3rd place and win her first ever World Cup race by right. And 17 there, Harsam, just showing, underlining the strength and depth of the Norwegian team. And if you wanted any more proof than that, Astrid Jacobsen, who was winning her classic sprint world title at both senior and junior levels back in 2007, the senior title in Sapporo in that half-in, half-out dome. And 12 here, Sandra Ringwald, the second of the 2 Germans, but maybe not second in this race. We'll have to wait and see. But this is competitive.
Yeah, I mean, it's always competitive by the semi-finals. You've got such depth in the women's sprinting.
And away we go for the second semi-final in the women's sprint here in Planica. And straight into the lead there, Gaia Burik, not afraid of anybody.
No, she's really going for it. She's really pushing the pace out at the beginning. She's going to make a big move to start with. Got a little bit of a lead on the downhill, but I don't think it means much just yet. They're going to really bunch together again at the bottom of the hill there, I think.
Yeah, but she's out of trouble, which means that she can take her optimum line. And there she is on the right of your scheme. From Predazzo, famous just up the road from Val di Fiemme, but now relinquishing the lead to, well, the first of the 3 Norwegians in here.
Yeah, Jakobsen's looking really comfortable there, taking the lead, looking very strong today, and just pushing the pace a bit, keeping the free skate technique going there while everyone else is tucking in behind her. So she doesn't want to rest up even for a second there on the course.
Yeah, 12. That's Sandra Ringwald, just about in 3rd place. Trying to make progress on the inside is Heidi Weng. Just on the right of your screen now, Heidi. It's not particularly elegant, but it's she's getting there.
She's gone for the high tempo technique. She's just going to absolutely hammer it till she can get up to the front there. It's effective, so what can you say? If it works, stick with it.
So 3 Norwegians in the first 4, and still Gaia Burik for Italy. Traditional hat with a little bobble on top, which is the trademark of Italian skiers.
They've had some interesting fashion choices. They had those really sparkly hats a few years ago. I was never quite sure about either.
Astrid Jacobsen trying to come up on the left of your picture there. That's Denise Herman, but you can see she's down in 5th place, and the Germans have really not got into this race. And now Jacobsen standing tall to take the corner, just stepping round. Burik actually running a really good race.
Yeah, she's going really well. She's looking like she's quite comfortable. She's just tucked in behind Jacobsen, and she's going to try and stay there. But this hill here is where all these attacks are happening, so it's vital she keeps her position as they go over the hill, because you've got Weng trying to catch up. You've got Ringwald and Harsam as well. Everyone's pushing over that one.
Gaia Burik has stuck to her lane there. Heidi Weng on the far side there has now got the better of her, has moved into 2nd place. Looking at this time, 2:26. Remember, the first semi-final was 2:32, and that's 2:32.5. Now I just need to look at Burik, 2:33.3.
I think she's going to sneak it, Burik.
Well, she deserves that because of the way she ran the race. And if she does, if Burik has gone through, that will be a massive personal best.
Yeah, that's great for her. That's really good to see. She's a consistent qualifier, but she struggles to get past the quarterfinals too often.
So the final of the women's sprint, Ingvild Flugstad Ørsberg for Norway, of course, and 3 Norwegians involved here under starters' orders. The final of the women's sprint.
Yeah, so they're off the start line here. Looks like Stina's going for the front again. She's really pushing it. But again, we've got Gaia Veric going into the lead again. This is exactly the same as she did in the semi-final. She's taking the lead, so she's going to make her own way, her own line down the first downhill. So it's good to see she's not intimidated by the sea of red around her. She's going to do what she thinks is the best race for her.
Yeah, these tricky, icy corners, but arguably, with no disrespect, it's the two outsiders who took the early lead, Sandra Ringvald, but now Stina Nielsen coming through in the centre, wearing that under-23 bib, and chasing her, Ersberg, and now looking for track position. This is really what it's all about now, and you can just see Ersberg there, full of confidence. Had a really demanding Tour de Ski, led until the very last stage. She's only had, what, barely a week to recover.
I mean, I'd still be in bed if I'd been up that hill last week, so I'm impressed to see her back here and doing so well and looking so strong hill, because that really takes it out of you, the Tour de Ski. But she's looked strong all the way today, and look at her going here. She's pushing her way up to the front. She's not going to hang about until the finishing straight. She's going to push the pace from here, try and break the field apart.
So Ersberg goes ahead of Stina Nielsen. Astrid Jakobsen tucks into third. Gaia Veric Sandra Ringvald in fourth place. Gaia Veric now out of it. The pace has beaten her. And at the back, Heidi Weng in fifth place. But now Stina Nielsen trying to get onto the shoulder of Ersberg, who just kicks in yet another gear from Ersberg. And now they steady for the corner here. There'll be no heroics. They'll take the corner and lead into that finishing straight. Who's your money on?
I'm going to go for Ersberg here. She's just so strong. She's got so much confidence. I think you're going to see her pushing it over this hill, trying to get a bit of lead into the finish. But I might have called it too early, because Stina's looking really good here as well.
Remember, Stina Nielsen, she won the World Cup in Davos, and that was her first ever World Cup success.
She's so consistent. She's always in the final, and she's going for it again here. I might have been wrong. I might have been wrong, David.
And look at these Norwegians. They're massing behind her, but Stina Nielsen...
Stina's taking it.
Yeah, she just needs to keep her focus and her balance here, and it's 100 World Cup points and her second success of the season. And with the absence of Maika Kaspersen-Faller, who failed to qualify and was sick earlier in the day, Stina Nielsen is going to go into the overall lead of the Women's World Cup. Excellent second by Jakobsen, Weng and Ersberg. Probably, with all that she's done in recent times, just fading into fourth place.
Yeah, I definitely called that one wrong. I think she just didn't have that last little bit in the tank for the last couple of 100 meters. I thought she looked like she wanted to make an early break.
Look at the difference in stature here between Stina Nielsen and everybody else in this final. The men's quarterfinals, interesting as you see the lineup here. Let me tell you that in the qualification, Federico Pellegrino, no surprise, the dominant figure in men's sprints this season, was the fastest in qualification. And one or two absentees I should mention from the World Cup rankings, men who've been actually trying to get the tiredness and the stiffness out of their legs, out of the Tour de Ski. Finn-Hågen Krogh, Sergei Ustigov, Peder Northug, and also Emil Iversen of Norway, who won one of the Nordic sprints in the Tour de Ski section. Posey Musgrave alongside myself. Theodor Pedersen, wearing bib number 24, is the fastest man. Sorry, wearing bib number 4, 2:16.72. So there he is, closest to him picture. And next to him, 8 there, Erik Bransdal, who I sometimes nickname the head waiter, because that's often his style of racing. And then in this lineup representing France, Valentin Chauvin. And as Posey will now explain, we were quite impressed by the number of French qualifiers.
Yes, David, there was 4 French qualified in the top 10 today, which is really unheard of. I mean, that's really surprising to see. And Valentin Chauvin, this is his first ever World Cup start. So to come out there and qualify in 10th is really fantastic. I'm really excited to see what he can do.
On the right there, being taken on, Theodor Pedersen being taken on by Andrew Newell of the USA. And Andrew Newell, who has come so close to so many victories, but all too often doesn't manage to finish it off. Often qualifies through to the quarters and the semis, but doesn't make as many finals as he should do.
No, he had a 4th place in Ruka this year, but that was his best result in quite a few years. So often he's one of these people you'll see getting tangled up or not quite making it through. And to me, that's actually about tactics. When it happens that many times, you have to wonder, is that just unlucky or is that the skier? And I wonder if it's just the skier, and he doesn't quite manage to place himself right a lot of the time.
And a lot of pressure going on here. Hallestatt, you can see, has got pushed back, and it's Bransdal who's now breathing on the neck of Theodor Pedersen. It's Sweden and Norway, and the Olympic champion at the moment is not going to get home in an automatic qualifying place. And Bransdal times it well, comes through to take it from Pedersen to 16.8. But I fancy there might be some quicker times here. Here we go, and it's Baptiste Gros, Fosli, Hakala, Pajinski, Furga and Volts, and this time cleanly away. And Volts on the left of your picture there for Germany, really trying to get across, but he didn't make it. And it's the Frenchman, Baptiste Gros, very strong on the inside. Fosli wearing 7, moving up there, and there he is into 2nd place behind the Russian. The Russians, who've generally been pretty disappointed. Baptiste Gros in 3rd place. I wouldn't rule him out because he often finishes extremely strongly. And 30, just about in 4th place there, Alexander Volts.
Yeah, still pretty tightly packed here, so I think it's a bit early to call. I think they're going to get around this corner, and then I think you're going to see someone go for it up this second uphill that you've got here. They're going to really, you can see Baptiste Gros really turning on the jets here. He's trying to make his way up to the front, trying to get in one of those top 2 positions. He's really pushing it, and looks like him and Fosli are making a bit of a gap on the rest of the field now. Yeah,
Fosli, young, only 22, into the last couple of 100 metres, and Fosli of Norway, and shoulder to shoulder Baptiste Gros here. These two are definitely going to go through. Pajinski fades, Volts fades, and well, Fosli says, well, if you want to win it, yeah, I'll let you win it.
Easy win there, easy qualification for those two.
So they're the lineup for the 3rd quarter-final, and it's the man of the season, isn't it? It's Federico Pellegrino, 25 years of age, from Italy, who's really been the dominant force. Pellegrino, 3 victories out of the 5 races. The winner in Davos at altitude at Toblach just before the Christmas break, and then also in Lenzerheide as the early stage of the Tour de Ski. He's also had the opportunity since quitting the Tour de Ski to recover, so he should be fresh. And he wears the red bib, he's closest to you, and on paper at least, he's the man.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the one to beat today. He's just been so strong in the skate sprints, won today really easily, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think it's good as well, to be honest, have someone other than a Norwegian at the top of the rankings sometimes. It's quite nice to see an Italian suit on top of the podium. It's a change from all that red that we're seeing at the moment.
Well, he's in 3rd, and we've got a brace of Frenchmen up front here. We have 2 Frenchmen in this Luca Chanavat, and also slightly more experienced Richard Juvet. But I'm also interested to see here how Kalle Halvarsen, he's at the back there, how he is, because he was not able to enter the Tour de Ski because he was sick.
Yeah, Halvarsen's had a really tough season this year. He's only had a couple of World Cup starts. He had a bit of sickness in the early season, so he didn't start off very well. The World Cup starts he hasn't actually qualified yet. So he's obviously just trying to work his way back into fitness. Good to see him qualifying, but he does look a little bit sluggish to me still. So maybe he's saving it for the last half of the course, but we'll see how he gets on today.
And that's Chanavat wearing bib number 2 on the left of your picture there. Another 21-year-old from Le Grand Bournon, and a man who was top 15 in the Junior World Championships a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, another quite young skier, as you said, and really quite inexperienced as well. This is only his 3rd World Cup start, but he's hanging on in 3rd place there, so he's holding his own at the moment.
And it's Sébastien Jouve of France, who's up front there from Pellegrino, who just looks as if he's ready to pounce.
Yeah, Pellegrino's just holding tight in second place there. That's all he needs to do to qualify, but he looks like he's pretty comfortable there. We might see him turn on the jets a bit up this hill again.
Martti Ulai of Finland not far behind. There he comes just on the near side, trying to get into this.
And Halverson really going for it as well, actually. I might have spoken too soon when I said he was a bit sluggish, because he looks like he's got a good turn of pace there. Let's see if he can pass Richard Jouve and get into the second position here. It's really going to be tight to the finish.
Pellegrino and Jouve and Halverson just has to accept third place. 2:15, and the interesting thing, that's the fastest of the quarterfinals now, 2:15.38. So I think that there's a decent chance that Halverson might go into one of the lucky loser places. So you've missed absolutely nothing, the fourth quarterfinal. Now we've already got two Frenchmen through, and I'm just wondering whether Renard J, wearing bib number 17, might also be able to get into the semi-finals. There's Retivky of Russia leading the charge there. The Norwegian wearing 8 in the center, coming under pressure. 17, that is Jay of France going into the lead ahead of the Russian.
It's a little bit messy there. Everyone's a bit tight together, and a couple of people stepping on each other's toes and jostling. But you've got Jouve going off the front now. He wants to make it a third Frenchman into the semi-finals. So let's see if he can hang on to that. He's really pushed over the top there. Got a bit of a gap on everyone else. So let's see if he can keep that going.
Yeah, it was very interesting how he accelerated into the uphill there. Took a little bit of speed of the previous downhill. And that's what you really have to do. When you're coming out of a downhill, you need to maintain that effort. But it's not over yet. But Jay leading the way there from the Russian Retivky, and also getting involved here in third place.
Simone Urbani of Italy. So it's nice to see another Italian in the final. It's in the quarterfinals. It's usually about Pellegrino, so interesting to see another one, but I don't think he's going to get there. It's all about Jouve and Retivky coming over the finish line, just cruising over there.
Yeah, Retivky looked very comfortable at the end there. Certainly Jay qualifying, 3 Frenchmen into the semi-finals, but he used more energy than Retivky. The last of the quarterfinals for the men. And there you can see yet another Swedish challenge. I think this is encouraging because Sweden haven't really been much of a force in the World Cup this year, in the men's division anywhere.
No, they've really struggled on the men's side without Halverson coming through, and we haven't seen much from Hellner either. But he's had a good start there. He looks like he's making his way up to the front quite comfortably, Simi. So see if he can get in front to get down this first downhill.
Yeah, Sebastian Eisenlauer, who's the highest ranked of these 6 in the World Cup rankings for the season there, just skipping into the lead ahead of the American. And it's all become a bit cat and mouse. This is not good for lucky loser positions. So you've got to be first or second across the line here. Yeah,
definitely playing it a bit more tactical here. Just easing up. People don't look like they want to attack too much. Compared to Jouve, we saw in the last one, really pushing up this hill.
Look at Tricher on the near side here for Austria. Really determined. Eisenlauer, though, holding him. And the American suffering right at the back now as Sweden comes through, and that's Nordstrom on the near side. Oh, and they're all in a heap here going for the line, and Eisenlauer has got the advantage by half a ski length, and he's going to qualify and takes it. That was close. Nordstrom in a photo with Eisenlauer for first place, but I think the German got it clearly for me.
It looked like he had it to me as well. It was a tight finish though, all 6 of them really in a bunch at the end.
And there you have the lineup there. Red bib for the Sprint World Cup leader, Pellegrino. And there is Bransdal. Martti Ulai getting in as a lucky loser and still very much a danger. 7 in here, Fosley And remember, Fosley at the moment is lying only second to Pellegrino in the World Cup rankings. This is very high-class stuff. Pedersen, who seems to have regained his sort of Olympic confidence. Baptiste Gros believes, look at him, he's sort of, he's quite brutal, really, isn't he?
He's a beefy skier. Yeah. He definitely goes for the...
he's a beastie.
He's the power. He goes for the power approach.
Yeah. And Pellegrino, who's got that sort of... He's very smooth, very wise tactically, but also, you remember Emil Jonsson, who's still around and racing, who had, when he was at the top of his game, had that extra gear, that sort of turbo, and Pellegrino's got that extra gear. Away we go, first semi-final for the men. Pellegrino on the right of your screen, and Theodor Pedersen wearing 4 there, beginning to try to mix it with the Norwegians, but 8 up there. Bransdal, slightly different tactic in this first semi.
Yeah, I think he wants to stay out of trouble on that first hill. We've seen it's been a bit iffy, so he's just trying to get a good line there. We'll see if he stays in front or if he just sort of drifts his way to the back for a little bit before making his way back up again.
Baptiste Gros suddenly realising that there is a danger, and he's right at the same point where he attacked last in the quarterfinals, and there he is going again. Now, is he going to sustain here? Because the others haven't dawdled. In the quarterfinal, he caught them napping, but he hasn't caught this lot napping.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's quite going for it yet. I think he's just positioning himself up in the front here so that he's got the space, so when he wants to go for it, he's going to really push off. But, I mean, he's got Pellegrino on his tails, so I don't think he's going to get away there.
They really eased off coming down around that left-hander.
It's going to be up here. We're going to see a push over this hill again. They're starting to wind up the tempo. You can see Baptiste Gros is pushing the tempo a little bit, starting to work harder. You're really trying to make his way up to the front.
Bransdal in 3rd place now under the Wiesmann Bridge, and Baptiste Gros making this strong, and this is power sprinting, it really is. Pellegrino on the near side, closing the gap there. Bransdal in 3rd place, and Baptiste Gros impressive.
Really, really nice from him, and funny because you didn't actually see him look like he was working too hard. It didn't seem like he was making a big move, but suddenly he had space behind him, so he was able to cruise over the finish line.
So Eisenlauer, Retivki, who looked good for Russia, the French in those sort of blue and yellow suits, and Kalle Halvarsson for Sweden. So Eisenlauer closest to you under starter's orders, 2nd semi. Pretty good start, but on the far side there, boy, out of the blocks came Halvarsson.
Oh, he really went for it. The starters on the right-hand side of the screen have got a bit of an advantage because they've got the good line into the corner. But Halvarsson didn't look like it was a problem to him. He was able to make his way across and get right in the pack.
He was the really tour de force, wasn't he, in the World Championships in 2013, Kalle Halvarsson in Val di Fiemme. And, you know, since then, he's not been at that level.
Oh, yeah, he had some good results last year in the Tour de Ski. He was on the podium a couple of times. He was in their medal-winning relay team in Falun last year.
Of course he was.
So he's done okay, but this season, as I say, he's been a bit quiet. So it's nice to see him back up there again.
So, France up front. There's Retivki, haunting and hunting in 2nd place. So Juvet to the 4. And round the outside there, Nordstrom, 16, or 18 I should say, in there for Kalle Halvarsson, who does wear 16 actually. And Eisenlauer on the right of your screen. And this is full on.
Yeah, it's pretty close here. No one's giving an inch. You've got Richard Jouve up at the front, and you got Eisenlauer going in front now. I think he wants to get out in front so he can make an attack and have a bit of space clear. But again, it's so tight. It's really hard to call this one.
Both of the Swedes at the back there, as I thought it might be, and still not entirely out of it.
No, they've still got a chance to come back in here. I mean, you've seen it's come back together a few times going on this downhill before that final uphill, but I think they are going to struggle, and Eisenlauer's looking really good.
Yeah, this is a very strong challenge by the 25-year-old German.
You've got Juve coming back as well, so I think he looks like he should be able to make it. They've just got to hold it into the finishing straight here. They've definitely got a bit of space.
And Eisenlau, who made the final in Lenzerheide, in sixth place at the end of the day here, and they're in Indian file here, and Eisenlau looking very relaxed ahead of Juvet, Retivki. So France with two in the final there, and Halvars and Nordstrom. So who went missing, I wonder? Ulla, no.
Renaud, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, Jay.
Might get a replay of that one. He just disappeared. Oh, no, there he is.
Yeah.
Disappeared off the timing, but not out of the race.
And so there are the finalists there through Gros, Eisenlau, Pellegrino, Juvet, Retivki, and Jay. The first of three Frenchmen, Renard Jay. And this is a terrific opportunity for them. Retivki for Russia, who sort of got into this final quite quietly and could be a danger. Five, that's Richard Juvet for the French again, and they've got who have they got? Baptiste Gros in the final as well, wearing 5. And there's Pellegrino looking for his 4th success of the season. And Fosley, his closest pursuer, going out in the semi-finals, the Norwegian. And 14 in picture. Eisenlau, who was very strong and determined, took it out a long way out in the semi-final, but looked comfortable coming home. And finally there, last but not least, Baptiste Gros. And it's not only about wanting to win this final, it's about wanting to be the best Frenchman. And Baptiste Gros never won a race. He was second in Davos. He's knocking on the door. So fantastic power. There'll be no team tactics amongst the French, and Pellegrino finds himself surrounded by a trio of Frenchmen.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any need to be worried just yet. Looks like he's just sort of getting his line, trying to stay out of too much trouble down the first corner. But good to see all these French suits up in front. Got Baptiste Gros up there, and Richard Jouve as well.
Yeah, Pellegrino on the left of the picture, just keeping out of trouble. Eisenlau in 3rd place, actually, for Germany. Then Retivki, and finally Jay at the back there for France. And they've really respected these corners, haven't they? Let the skis run out wide.
Yeah, they're taking them at some speed. I think if you're on there, you'd be impressed at how fast they are going around those corners. But they're still staying in control, so they're managing to stay in contention for later on in the race. We've got Pellegrino just moving up here, I think, just starting to assert his authority and come to the front of the pack.
Halfway through this 1,200-meter race, the final for the men. Pellegrino setting himself up, looking for position as much as anything else here. It was the position that Baptiste Gros had in the quarterfinals and in the finals, but Pellegrino now determined. This is where he saved the energy from the quarterfinals and finals. He didn't worry about Baptiste Gros beating him in the semi-finals. He said, you can have that one. And now Gros back there, and the Frenchmen are chasing to 2nd, 3rd and 4th here.
You've got a nice line of Frenchmen, but in front of all of them you've got Pellegrino, and he's opened up a gap there. He's just so impressive this year. His skate sprinting is just on another level to anyone else's. And you've got Baptiste Gros there behind him, but Pellegrino just looks so good to me. Look at that skate 2 he's using as he powers up the hill. He wants to win this, but he wants to win it properly. He wants to really assert his authority on the field, I think.
All credit to Baptiste Gros on the far side there. He looks set for his 2nd runners-up spot in the World Cup this season. But Pellegrino, his 4th success and another 100 points to confirm his position as the master of sprint for 2016.
He just absolutely took the field apart there.
But look at that, equal personal best there for Baptiste Gros, and for Sébastien Jouve in 3rd place.
That's the best for him as well. I think he's had 1 3rd as well, so he's tied his personal best as well just there. He was 3rd in Lahti last year, I believe. But I can't think of the last time we had 2 Frenchmen on the podium, so this is a good podium.
Yeah, absolutely right. He was 3rd in Lahti, and Renard Jay, another pretty good race by him. Now Renard Jay in 4th place. Just check on. I'm not sure if that was a personal. Yes, it is. It's a personal best for Renaget. So what a day for the French. They didn't win it, but they've all made their mark there. But Pellegrino, clean pair of heels to these three excellent Frenchmen.
Oh, absolutely. Just in front of them by miles there. He had the confidence. He knew he wanted to win it, and he was going to put his authority